All right, guys. Welcome to the channel. With my boy Farris. Just man up the tech school in the United States Air Force. So this is going to be pretty much a interview about Farris, man. So just for the audience, man, just tell them a little about yourself, man.
So I'm Renzo Farris, born and raised in Rockford, Illinois. Joined the Air Force January 29, 2019. Best decision I made so far in my life. I mean, there's nothing much about me, Here, Security Forces Academy with Jones. That's about it.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you this question. So what made you join the Air Force? Like what was your motivation?
When we joined the Air Force, when we joined the Air Force, so basically, like I look forward and I plan ahead things. So like my plan in the future is to do like federal law enforcement someday. So if I do get out of the Air Force, if I don't do 20 years, my plan is to get out of the Air Force and I have a security clearance, and I already have that training and experience already to get me a job down the road.
Okay. And what were you doing previously?
What was I doing previously? I
Yeah.
was a corrections officer, as you know, and worked with some toughest people in America.
Hmm.
Some people that were bigger than me, a lot bigger than me, 200 pounds bigger sometimes. And I worked with like 70 of them, and they were all in a cell. No, me, little old me, one guard. I weigh about 165.
Okay.
I'm a tough 165, but I mean, arms don't look that big. But I mean, I tried. I worked hard at my job. I was the best. I did good at my job. Before I left my job, a couple months before I left my job, I got promoted to corporal within my department.
Great.
And then I started training other corrections officers, new people who were coming out of the academy, showing them how to do the job, and just the best experience of my life.
Wow. And correct me if I'm wrong. You were what 21, right?
I am.
So you was a correction officer when you was like 19 or 20.
Started at 18.
18, man, that's amazing, man. Because not too many 18-year-olds, will get into that career field and actually advance. So like, what advice you can give someone that wants to pursue a career like in law enforcement or criminal justice, but they just don't know how to pursue that career or pursue that goal?
Well, if you're in Illinois and you want to work in the prisons, the age is 18. So what I did was I was always interested in law enforcement, and I found options. I just looked around options in my state for 18-year-olds in law enforcement, and then I sat down and talked to one of my principals, and he was telling me, "Hey, my nephew, he started working at the Illinois Department of Corrections at 18. So for a few months before I graduated, I applied. They called me back, went tested for it. You have to take a test. You have to do a written interview where two people are sitting there writing down stuff that you tell them, and then have to go to an oral board in front of like the warden of the department that you want to get hired with, and then they decide, hey, we're going to hire you, and then they send you off to the academy. So any advice to people who want to do it, it's a great career. Sometimes it's tough and it gets very hard at times, but I mean, if you're on it, doing what you got to do with a good mindset, you guys will be the best at the job that you can.
Okay, and so I'm gonna ask you this question as well. Especially in the black community, a lot of African Americans, we have a negative, like I said, viewpoint on law enforcement, and that can be due to how the Philander Steele situation that happened. Michael Brown. I mean, we see a lot of things on the news and how like police brutality has been going on for a long time, man, especially in this country. And if you say to a young man, like, it may be very difficult for them to change that paradigm. Like, hey, I want to be a police officer. That may be shunned in the community, but you would still tell them, like, hey, if you're really passionate about this, you can really help. You can help out your people. Like, it's actually some benefits in becoming a law enforcement. Like, don't you think, or do you think that as a black person, we need kind of just choose another career path in a way?
In my decision, I say, in my opinion, sorry, not my decision. In my opinion, I feel like there needs to be more African American and even other minorities in law enforcement, because we're the majority of communities. We're the majority of people who live in certain parts of cities and certain areas and certain parts of the country. I mean, why not police yourself? If you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, minorities policing minorities. Go and be that police officer. Go and make that change. Don't think about the negative stuff that have been happening. If you want to change law enforcement, the only way of changing law enforcement is to getting in and seeing what needs to be fixed. and seeing what has to be done in order to try to pursue that goal of changing that negative outlook on the way law enforcement polices minority communities.
Okay, so pretty much just get in, get involved. That's a good thing as well. I'm glad you said that, because I do believe that like far as like politically, I'll be talking about this in my channel. In order for the black community to grow, we need a good representation of politics. We need to understand to vote, funding individuals. We need to have an agenda. And it makes me think about like the Black Panther movement that happened in the '60s, man. Like people were actually policing their own communities, and it was actually a great reinforcement. And it's just like we kind of lost that due to like culture change and the feminist movement. So you saying in your defense that we need more young black men
Oh yeah,
into law enforcement. Okay,
definitely.
and the best way to get their foot in the door is they can start off small. Like, where should they go to school first, or?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I did. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you guys know what a police explorer is. Farris was a police explorer. So basically, what a police explorer is, usually between the ages of 14 and 20, their police departments in my area had a police explorer program. So basically, what it was we met once every week on Tuesdays, and they showed us how police officers are trained and how to do this. And then we had competitions competing against other police departments explorer programs and like areas in traffic stops, uh, building searches, uh, crash investigations, and things like that. And that's one way it showed me of this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It helped me at an early age to say, yes, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to go out and help people. And also explore programs, do a lot of stuff in the community and do a lot of events and things in the community, such as, so like we have National Night Out. So we did National Night Out. So the Explorers program, we'd have a table set up out there and people would ask us, hey, what does this program do? And we told them like, hey, we do a lot of community events. We do this with the police department. We did Christmas before I left.
Mm.
Before I left the program, we did a Christmas. We have 3 police parties in my city. So we did a
Okay.
We did a Christmas party for the community of District 2 in my city, and we had all the people living in the community that came in and ate dinner, and we fed them, and we just had and asked them about their concerns in the community and things that they think should be changed, and what they want the police officers to do, and how they think the police should interact with the people in the community.
Okay, not only they gave you the skills, so okay, you had the ability to interact with people in the community. Okay,
Correct.
that's a great thing too, because I believe more police department needs to do that. If you police in a community, it would be nice to actually get to know the neighbors, get to know the culture there, so you won't racially profile them. Because I know specifically in Detroit, we have like a lot of Asian cops, people that don't really live in our communities and policing us, and so we feel some type of way, like, hey, man, you don't know what we'll be going through. And I'm not saying like all cops are bad, but that's just like the negative perception we have, So, but that's a good thing, that's a great step. You said the policing thing. Now, is that like more of an internship, or it can lead you to a career?
It
Yeah,
can lead
no,
you.
no.
It can lead you to a career.
Okay.
Actually, just a few months ago, a guy got from our program who
Mm-hmm.
aged out, who turned 21. He became a police officer with the city, and he went off to the academy. And he's currently in academy right now. I think he graduates here in a few weeks. And he's Mexican. He's a minority. He loved it. Like, he loved the opportunity of, hey, I'm going to be a cop now. I want to do this. I want to make a change in my community, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm glad that he actually got a chance to get hired in the department. Explorer programs are a great thing. If you guys don't know what it is, you guys should look it up and be a part of it. If you're under the age, if you're in between the ages of 14 and 20, and you're in the lines of you're towing that line, look up, see if your department has an Explorer program. Call the number for the advisor, for who the officer is, and say, hey, can I come in and watch you guys do at one of your meetings and see what they do and see if you like it, and then you can put in an application and apply.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, can it also lead to other careers, as far as like you want to get into forensics, criminal investigations?
Well, stuff like that, you do need that specialized training for. So,
Okay.
I mean, it gives you an outlook of what the basics of forensics and all the other things, like what detectives or like SWAT team members, what they would do in their day-to-day operations. Like we actually get to see what those guys do on day-to-day as well.
Okay.
Like we go and we spend a meeting sometimes with SWAT or sometimes with the homicide unit or with sensitive crime, which would be like your sex crimes or crimes against children and stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome. That's